not getting my hopes up. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm really sorry. So I'm doing a very, very mellow intro. I don't know if things are recording, but I just wanted to say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to 2015. I know just a few of you are welcome to the regular gallery cabaret. I was actually starting up now bright and early because I wanted to read a bunch of things from magazines because I'm not even going to make it here in 2 weeks. And the next time I'm going to be here, I'm going to have new issues of CC&D and Down in the Dirt. But what I was going to do is play some ambient, I don't know, whatever, meditation, guitar, plinking music in the background and go through a bunch of poems, including ones that are in the beginning of the Need to Know 2015 Literary Date Book from different artists, as well as a few things from Down in the Dirt, which this issue is called A Rural Story, as well as finishing off with Beyond the Gates, the most recent issue of CC&D. So that was all I was going to do when I gave you a long intro. I hope everybody had a really good Christmas and New Year. I should get that crap out of the way. Did you guys have fun? Oh, yeah.
I had a wonderful time.
That means it had to be a wonderful time. And this is the first year in a long time that I wasn't off visiting family. We were just hanging out like as friends here in Chicago, and I got to have a meal in Chicago at home. It was awesome. So, in the interim, these are a bunch of poems. First poems are from the Need to Know 2015 Literary Date Book. You can get it through Amazon, and these are from accepted things from 2014 issues of CC&D and Down in the Dirt. I don't know which from any of these things, but the first one is, I have to find them, is a poem from Henry Sosnowski called Wrong Reflection. You can feel the rush down to your toes when the cop in your rear view hits the party lights and your trunk is loaded with bad news. This is a poem from Mel Waldman, and it's perfectly appropriate now that we've got snow everywhere in January. This is a poem from Mel Waldman called Oblivion. The blinding snow is a glittering desert of white oblivion. The next one I've got for you here is a poem by Linda Webb Acito. It's called 6 of 1. Morally twisted, corrupted by pain, crazy sprints, dreams, spewing fear. Vision is blackened, shrouded. Road closed. Is waking the only way out? But haunting comes early. Darkness retreats, refusing the night. Day ascends. This is a poem from Mike Brennan, and it's called Dinner Reservations. Are you aware you are only a dull object to divert my anger? A fluent vessel for all my miniature hatreds, because obviously there must be some love left, maybe more, maybe less, to fill this vacuous pyre, posing as a person who shuffles sore feet to someday straighten up, to stretch both crooked legs like a formal dining table, to comfortably seat your guests as they wait to be served the hors d'oeuvres of all of my upturned and burnt obsession. This is a poem by C.E.E. and it's called Think About It. How do we really know? Of course, we only have paintings of Shakespeare to go by. Maybe him and his bacon didn't exist. Maybe nothing did. Maybe it's fractured fairy tales of another kind. Maybe it's daguerreotype of Genesis, chapter 1, and that sorry dark thing that old Andy Jackson did is Adam after the fall. This is a poem by Andrew L. Miller called Shadow Key. Your eyes hide behind blinds, coming, counting all the lies, disguised, deceptive as a rigid key, looking away, locking away false memories. The last one from this book of the three. This is a poem from Cheryl Townsend that appeared in an anniversary issue. This is a poem called My Stepfather Tried. One night of preteen budding, he pushed one side of the door as I did the other, saying, "You don't have anything I haven't seen before. And if you do it, it's time that I should just go." And my confusion pounced from my eyes and my gut, and my mother was nowhere to dry them. Thought I would read two pieces from Donna the Deer's most recent issue called A Rural Story. Since I was doing haikus before, I would look for doing haikus now. Some of you may have heard some of these, because they're just funny. Because they're just funny. This is called Octopi and Brains. Hey, there's Santa. What? Did you know that an octopus has a brain in every tentacle? Did you know that's actually true? This is another octopi one. This is called Octopi and Dogs, which is also funny when you hear this, first one. Did you know that an octopus has 3 times more neurons than a dog? I like those. These are from CC&D magazine. I am going to read to you a few poems from David Hernandez. And no, if you think you know David Hernandez, yes you do. But this is actually somebody who submitted writing from Southwest states. It's not David Hernandez from Chicago. This, especially because it was a Christmas issue, this first one from David Hernandez was Drinking from the Chalice of Silver. A line before the Christmas cross awaits the holding of the chalice of silver, an angel's coat, spiritual cup once held by the minister. A walk of praying hands awaits to touch the chalice, to grasp the hands of grace, to sense the Spirit's presence, to sip the wine from divine. Though a chalice of gold remains, replacing the deceit of the silver, the saints don't mind the deceits, only the loss. This is another one from David Hernandez from the southwestern states of the United States. This is called The Age I Fear. A lighter and flask, 2 keychains shown on my keys to show how old I am. I don't drink and I don't smoke, yet other addicts, people of my age, want me to act like them. I have a better use for the lighter in that flask, to start a fire and clear out the evidence. I spike their drinks with poison inside that flask, fill their bar with a flammable oil, and lit it with the lighter. The club can be repaired. The memory of what I did remains strong. I was different. Now I am fierce. My own pleasure came from 2 items used to kill in silence. This is a poem from Zoe Broom called A Veteran. Your life was a March snowflake. I was winter's veteran. You'd seen nothing but sunshine, pistols, drawn raids, your dad's corpse, your homeland, where a mad dictator sent armies after you. You were 11. I wonder whether you were a child then. Last pieces I'm going to do, because I had so much fun pulling off the 6-second haikus. I was going to end with 3 haikus that maybe some of you heard or not. I don't know. This one is called Falling. Falling to my feet, I can only hope I'll land on my feet. This one is called Sort. Some stores sold Bibles along with their books for sale as fiction, and why not? I heard somebody once say that like this one. This last piece is called Upturn. With blurred eyes, hollowed, upturned tortoiseshells look like battle casualties. Perfect with the ring and tide. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you very much for coming out. Thank you all, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we get like easy and doing things thank you all so very much for coming by, and I'm hoping that my first open mic is going to come up here. Thank you for getting up here with Dan. Please give it up for Dan Weinberg. Come on up here, darling. Give it up for Dan. Come on.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. The nursing home. The nursing home creaks with the weight of the feetless. The lazy robin leans on his sit-down scooter. Blind bumblebees wait patiently for help outside the peace demo. A mosquito with a broken leg hobbles to the bema. Deranged monarch butterflies pray for more milkweed. Silly worms squirm in their dirt. Wholesome rabbits run away at the slightest sound. The scarred lion waits in line at the overnight shelter, hoping no one spots him. Hollow-eyed zebras look up their gurus for advice. Pregnant cats meow for attention in tight-fitting jeans. Chapped lips mouth the shema and eyes point downward. Roaches in the fridge are aggravated by too much light. He prays with the ambition of a mercenary on payday. Okay.
Wow.
Some uplifting poetry to go along with the weather. This is called Know Me. With my car now quietly parked on Richmond Street, I travel by train to Gary, Indiana. The car will never know how I feel. The only other passengers on the late train are the guys who work at U.S. Steel fixing their computer system. I will never know that computer system. The train car is almost empty and quiet with only 4 passengers today. No radio, TV, or newspaper. Only the train wheels rolling over the tracks make noise past Hyde Park. The tracks will never know me. Past Hyde Park, Bronzeville, the South Side, Hegewisch, Hammond, East Chicago, and then Gary. Names that will live in infamy. The train goes faster. The trees pass over faster. The trees will know me. Yeah. I'm Poets for War. I'm part of a minority. Poets for War. Yeah, war on the Pentagon, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Special Forces, not so special forces, real unimportant forces, fucking stupid forces. I want these forces to pile up their guns in a big pile, and there will be a big pile, and then burn all the weapons, nuclear ones too. Poets for War on War. I want to see all the bullies hide and destroy all their weapons of mass construction. Some people say that those who preach peace are full of war. Well, maybe this is truer than you think. We are full of war on war. We have seen how excited people can be about war, and that ain't so pretty.
What's it good for?
Some jobs suck. All the energy out of me. Staring, working on a screen all day long is criminal and very tiring. Should be outlawed, inhumane, unnatural. Need a union to protect me from the bosses. This is capitalism, has to be modified. Stare at me, I am all powerful. You will bow to me, kiss my feet. I am not a bully. I am only your friend, your only friend. Look, look, look. What do you see? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you were doing like me, where I'd read and I just go to the next one, go to the next one. You know, I'm not going to say anything, because what do I have to say? Because these people are awesome, I'm just going to leave it at that. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give it up for Jerry Pendergast. Jerry, go up here, right there. I know, it's like freezing, we don't feel like moving or thinking of anything.
Usually I don't bring my beer up with me, but I'm toasting the New Year.
You've got to stand.
Right, I know.
Leave it, you're all set.
Since yesterday was the last day of Christmas, this is called Ode to a Holiday Geek. Calendar turns to December, Thanksgiving weekend over. I know a Scrooge you'll label me if I simply dare to say, I do not want to hear it's the most wonderful time of the year, every hour of every day. The clock strikes 12, Eve turns today, and it becomes next year. A killjoy, you'll call me, if I'm not singing Auld Lang Syne, loud, slurred, and way off key. Loud, slurred, and way off key, my dear. Loud, slurred, and way off key. Okay, it's supposed to be a sacrilege, but there's a couple of political haikus while we're on the...
What, you? Political? What?
Well, on the theme, like, reactions to Auld Lang Syne. No disrespect to Robert Burns, but I think it's a very good song when sung by somebody who respects it, actually. Okay, no seas between my next door neighbors and me, just fences, attitudes. No seas between my old address and me, only high walls and checkpoints. How are we on time here?
Go ahead, you're fine.
Okay, well, yesterday, so like I said, it's the last day of Christmas, Feast of the Epiphany. Actually, I had a classmate or two who were one generation away from exchanging gifts on that day. When I hear Magi, I think of magic, majestic, journey across changing terrain, bearing gifts, and the tale of virgin birth of their faith's founder, Zoroaster. I think of the first time I heard the words magician and musician close together in the same conversation. Thank you. It's kind of a new one.
I feel really bad because I was trying to get my stupid little Instagram camera set up so it'd be queued up so I'd be able to take a picture of you, and I didn't get to take a picture of you. But, you know, and I have pictures from the last time, and that's true. We're just welcome to trying to connect to anything in Chicago when you have a smartphone that doesn't work as a phone. So like, can I hook up to somebody else's internet something somehow? Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Oh, I love this woman. Give it up for Elizabeth Harper.
I fall in love with difficult people. I fall in love with difficult people. I can't help it. Anyone who is easily angered, easily bothered, quick to fight, quick to hold a grudge, I find utterly fascinating, charming. Maybe it's because they're mysterious to me. I wonder, why get so riled up? Why pick a fight when you could just as easily let it go, be at peace with the world? It must be because they can't, and I know their anger, their frustration is righteous, and their difficult personality is a symptom of their intelligence and sensitivity. And somehow I must think it's my job to love these people who cringe at every imperfection, mistake, faux pas, falsehood, injustice, and rail against all the general ugliness and stupidity of the world, domineering and emotionally needy at the same time. I don't know what the fuck I am doing. Life's built up residue can't be scrubbed clean, can't be scrubbed clean. I'm not wrong, I'm not right, I'm just mean. Play around, get in trouble, wish the world were different, wish you were somebody else. What do normal people do to keep from quarreling with the sky? What am I going to do when I can't get close enough to you? Can't get close enough to you. I eat my heart out, I turn my brain inside out, the damage done, the prizes that can't be won, the disastrous scene. I'm so tired, and I want to die. Don't ask me questions. You don't want to know the answers. Precious objects of porcelain and glass slip out of my hands and fall crashing to the floor, shattering into little sharp bits. I can't help myself. I don't know what the fuck I am doing. The gloriousness of giving up. When you've given up the striving to be something you're not, when you're too old to change, and at this point you don't even want to. When you're content with who you are, where you are, and you don't care if you die tomorrow because, hey, you had a pretty good run, and at least you can still wipe your own ass. You've done enough, not as much as some other people, but hey, you're not someone else. You're you, and you had your part to play. You had your share of friends and love affairs, your share of successes and failures, and even failures contribute to the general knowledge and general good. Who are you trying to be anyway? You can't even stand that guy with his perfectly stiff hair, perfunctory girlfriend, and inexplicably stiff and hard and black American Express card. Give it up. Let it go. Give it up. Let it go. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I feel really bad because I'm the girl who has a smartphone that doesn't work as a smartphone. But I got good stick pictures during Pendergast, but I got Elizabeth Harper and but I'm putting them up, linking them up on my Facebook page, and I will do my best if I can before I get out of town to be able to tag you on them. But I will do that. And I think I did this last time where I took a picture of the group, because you guys are all triple plus awesome. And I have no idea how to zoom this thing or anything, so act like you're idiots or act like, I think everybody should act like laying flumped over on the bar. Like, I'm dead, I want to just die. This is hi, it's the new year and I'm drunk and I'm hungover or something, but I have no idea. I have no idea what will turn out or what. But I wanted to say before I called up another awesome guy like Vittorio, Carli, that I was going to ask that you would put everything that you can into this little bag here for a great feature tonight from Patrick Hurley. Give it up and scream when you meet it. Hello! Yeah! I don't think I gave enough money. What do I do? I'm gonna have to pass this around. All right, there's more. That's good. Because this guy is so worth it, and I don't know how often I'm going to see him, and I'd like to see him more. And I don't know how times are working in 2015, but in the meantime, I'm looking forward to hearing Vittorio. Carli, where's my Vito, my darling? Please give it up for Vito himself. Vito, come up here. Tell me about upcoming shows if you got it, please.
There's going to be a show Saturday at the Art Colony, and the features are Dave Getzik, Tim Perez, Bradley last name, and Lynn West.
5 to 7?
Cool.
5 to 7. And it's at, I had the address here. I
Fletcher,
gave it to you, yeah, it's on Fletcher.
just west of the river.
Right. I'm actually a poet for war, you know, like would be friends and slip into darkness.
I'm a poet.
Anyway, I was in Italy in December. This is what I wrote on the way back. Farewell to Italy. No more will I ride your winding roads in the foggy mountains, while motorcycles, bikes, and Vespas weave in and out of traffic, causing a near accident every 40 seconds, until I feel like I'm stuck in endless pinball machines. No more will I taste your Nutella-flavored hot chocolate, which has twice the consistency of molasses, about as 5 times as much, 5 times as filling as American hot cocoa. No more will I overhear a self-appointed ethnic preserver ranting about how American pop music is eluded Italian culture, temporarily forgetting he's American. He must know as much as he is as a native. He reads all of Rick Steve's books. No more will I gaze upon a group of burly Italian men in Santa Claus suits, gyrating blissfully to YMCA, completely unaware of the overtones. No more will I pay for a public restroom usage only to find a hole in the ground and no toilet paper. It only happens in the summertime. No more will I sit in there for my allotted 15 minutes and gaze at the faded majesty of the Last Supper, thinking, boy, if I am such a woman. No more will I enter churches where people kneel, stand, and sit at the same time, when my mother scolds a woman saying, there's no dogs allowed here, it's a sacred place. No more will I walk into a supermercado to buy day's groceries, not concerned about that I'm buying Frankenfood. Unlike America, Italy labels genetically modified food. No more will I see 2 dissatisfied older senoras endlessly condemning a 20-something college student for wearing colorful leggings under her skirt, for looking ridiculous, while men of all ages gaze at her with desire. And let's see. No more will I consume a scrumptious meal of pasta and tortellini, mushrooms. I always ate well in Italy. With my sick cousin in a restaurant with no heat, with about 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So, thanks.
Oh, is that? Darling, do you have anything else to read, here, darling? I would love if you'd read more.
Okay.
No, please do. Take as long as you get some. I don't get to hear my Vito. I want to hear my Vito some more.
This is a little bit more of a poem. No more will we chat with a 4-foot relative who's celebrating his 99th birthday, even though he does not look a day over 120. And
Story of my life. Doesn't look a day over 100.
no more will I be awakened from deep dreams by the sounds of cats shrieking and clawing each other outside. My mother said that they were probably in heat. No more will I see a woman in a Asiago hat and a Viva La France shirt buying a handbag marked Delaware that was made in China. No more will I gaze upon the celestial beauty of Gian Petrino's Magdalena Penitente and wonder if she's penitent, wonder if she's penitent, and why is she praying, and why is she nude? Sorry. No more will you see a crazy slapstick comedy on a plane in which a stuttering cab driver is double giving orders to his voice-activated GPS. That's a real movie. Okay, I'll do one more. This is the one I did that makes fun of rejection letter. Called rejection letter. So I just took a rejection letter and I played around with it and kind of mocked it. Dear Mr. Man, hey dude, thank you for giving us the chance to consider your poem, compromising photo, bathroom graffiti, coaster art, restaurant, menu purity, pillow book, used toilet paper. Poem titled Celebrating the Greatness of My Perfect Grandson in 90 Verses, Elegy for My Dear Departed Pet Maggot, Why I Love Lana Del Rey's Performance in Saturday Night Live. For publication in our fine journal, the New Neo-Post-Colonial England Review, A Girly Boy's Life, Amethyst Arsenic Atomic Armadillo, Tri-Quarterly Poetry Mashup Journal of Epistemological Inquiry, the New Journal of Masturbatory Villanelles. I apologize for the long wait in reply. Breaking Bad was on. I was busy filling my phones and sending sex to my mistress. I had to devote time to my favorite social cause, the Free Charles Manson movement. I was mourning the death of Tommy Ramone. I was celebrating Mussolini's birthday. I really don't care that you had to wait. We were thinking a positive response from our readers, our judges. Nausea, headaches, burps, hiccups, indigestion, and bowel movements. Helped me sleep for the first time in days. We've decided against publishing this one in the end, because it does not meet our present needs. It's easier to read than John Ashbery. It shows no Iowa workshop poetry influences. Kevin Stein didn't like it. It failed the coin flip. You're not in our secret society. You belong to the wrong gender, generation, orientation, or ethnic group. I promised my girlfriend I would get her work in this time. You said a naughty word. The transgender, libertarian, Wiccan royalist, intuit, albinist for Romney issue was last month. You're not a subscriber. You're on the wrong side of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But we wish you the best in placing your work on your refrigerator and one of our no-account inferior competitors' publications, in the garbage, in our publication that's still around long after you're famous and dead. If your work ever rises to a level of competence, please feel free to try us again. Submit more work. Walk past without saying hello. Like us on my Twitch face. Drive your car to Lake Michigan. Sincerely, we're probably lying. Friendly, faceless, please, editors. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, so excited I untied my jacket. But then I didn't have that tying it in front of me anyway. Anywho, I was watching stuff about astronomy today. And about, sorry, when I think science or anything cool like that, I always think, I always, look, I have to because I heard science stuff and just because I heard this guy so much. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bob Lawrence!
Roman Rand and Robert.
Just something. I was here. This galaxy, how the Milky Way galaxy is so huge compared to us, but it's actually really tiny compared to all other galaxies. And there are so many of them. That's what I was watching today at lunch.
Yo,
That was my thing that I
little baby, maybe we'll have a little twist of science in this. This first piece is called Weird What Ifs, or Modern Metamorphoses. So far I have 3 of these. 1. F and PH are switched in all applicable words Now this is kind of a psych egg, this poem. If there's a PH that used to be an F, I'll long, and if there's an F, no, see if an F turns into a PH, and it looks PH on the page, I'll do a long. And if a PH turned into an F and it's a simple F, like that, okay? See if you can follow this. I know it's cold. Hey, I locked my key in my car today at Whole Foods. So I had to walk home, get my spare key, and walk back. Still chill. F and PH are switched in all applicable words. Phonetic is now truly phonetic. Phallic is a no-no, while fuck has become respectable. Philharmonic and philosophy, less pretentious. The force is respectably worshipped. At last, freedom is seen as a complex phenomenon. And feces are odoriferous, not smelling. Frequently, however, spelling shifts seem arbitrary, even fatuous. Frequent flyers still fly on Friday. A gaffe is still funny. Drawing a graph of a staff outbreak still requires bars or lines. Phone sex is still a lonely phase. Philip remains capable of a fillip, a photon very fast, a futon very soft. Fat and fat are most confusing, and how laughs slip through the cracks, unchanged, frustrates phonic experts everywhere. 2, sunshine breeds depression, while darkness dances with delight. When people have an insight, they no longer see the light, they feel the dark. Tanning booths have all been converted to total darkness booths. Patrons feel the warm caress of enveloping dark. The ideal vacation spot, Alaska, during its long winter nights. Only near opaque contact lenses let people endure the Southwest. After a week of cloudless skies in the Northeast or Northwest, people pray for gray skies and rain, many leaping out of windows and off bridges, succumbing to sun-driven depression. 3, the accelerating expansion of the universe amends the law of gravity. Objects less than 1 solar mass are attracted by larger objects, but do not generate a gravitational field of their own. In other words, the Earth no longer has gravity. Everything not sunk into the ground floats above the surface, like astronauts in a spaceship, only there's no ceiling. Moon songs and poems are now defunct. The moon has disappeared from the sky, flung off on its own, orbited around the sun. The flying fuck has become a reality instead of a rude term of derision. Some revel in the newfound freedom of motion until they realize the atmosphere is floating its merry way away as well. Okay. Here's a quick haiku. Snow on the ground, no longer in the air, just the waning moon. Snow on the ground, no longer in the air, just the waning moon. All right. And in a surreal mood, open house. Each speckle on our countertop, one speckle of billions, asks to be heard. Their collective howl is deafening. When I dream in a major key, our potted plants flourish. Today we threw out 2 dead philodendrons. Cleansing the residue of evaporated memories from the floorboards, the walls, the ceiling is our secret and vain obsession. Why is our chimney, which exhausts only burned gas, a gathering place for the ghosts of chimney sweeps? Through our windows, whose lifeblood is lightning, we see symphonic scores etched by clouds. Our lawn is more than lawn. Each blade of grass is a fuse to an unseen numbing explosive. The last few springs, the same robin built its nest in our tree. On cloud-weary days, I talk in tongues with our feathered guest. Each morning I leave for work, the L station morphs into a dental office for dinosaurs. And I must evade the whirring drills.
Thank you. I'm like, everybody's grabbing things. You know, this is the most like, I think it's like the most laid back it's ever been. For those of you who don't know or whatnot, I'm going to run straight into the feature after this, but yeah, I might have some more open mic time if people want to come up again, because I would love to hear you. And the thing that's terrible is that terrible for you because you'll miss me so. I'm going to be out of town and I won't be able to make it to the next open mic, which has Jeff Helgeson as the feature, and he's doing it. Technically, hopefully, he will be doing prep stuff for his next play if he's got any of the other actors joining him. I'm not sure. Check the Facebook page or just show up in 2 weeks. Bob Rashka will be there hosting it, as will, I believe, a guest feature, Dave Getchuk. He is coming for this as well. And I won't get to video record it or anything, so I won't get to see it, sniff, but come and check it out, and I will talk about feature stuff toward the end of the evening. But before I call it my feature, I'm going to end the night because anybody who looks on crappy things like Facebook or whatnot hears that I just had a 20-year anniversary for being a vegetarian, and somebody I know has just decided to start becoming a vegetarian as well, which is a similar date. So I'm going to read this one. It's in the collection book from this past year. This was the redacted edition, of course, which always seems appropriate when you've got the NSA watching everything that you do, which is why I video record everything and post them up on podcasts and stuff, just so that you know we're watching you. Da, da, da. So I thought I would do this piece, and it's called Vegetarian Stands by the Meat Sale. It's raining out, and no one wants to be outside. And if they do come here, they just want to get the bare essentials and go home as quickly as they can. They surely don't want someone to actually come and talk like me, just trying to make a living. A huge clock looms at the opposite wall. I keep glancing at the time and think of that huge calendar looking over New York in Atlas Shrugged as everyone is reduced to merely trudging through their days. Someone just wish me good luck, because I think everyone would rather be sleeping than here, and it's true. I just glanced at that big clock again. I'm only 1/8 of the way through my day of work. And this woman who has chosen to not have children has to keep smiling despite the weather and fawn at every passerby and passing child that I see. This vegetarian stands next to a sign saying, "Hot ham" in the deli sale for today, as employees placed baked and fried chicken in packages for sale behind me. I try to smile because it's my job, even though it's raining outside, and the second hand seems on that clock to tick more slowly today. Thank you. Whether you're a vegetarian or not, it's like you have those days like that where you're like, oh, the time is just creeping along with my workday, and what do I have to do for this? So thank you very much. But now I'm going to go straight into, and I'm telling everybody else, if you're going to be around, if you'd like to come up for more open mics, I'd love it, because I don't know if I'm going to give you that much time, although you might deserve it, Mr. Man, because I don't know how often I'm going to see him in 2015. This man is a regular feature here, and I always love hearing his words. And the thing is he's got this very rhythmic, melodic sound to his voice, I would say. But I should also say, for Water of Life Press, he has done publishing stuff for people like Lisa Heminger, which is really cool. And I think one of the people that recently would be coming up is me, so maybe something will be published soon. Blink, blink, blink. Because I even donated more bags of paper bags to him for future things where I'm like, yeah, I have more bags for you if you need it. I'll join you if you need help. But I love hearing this man, and I don't know, because of conflicting schedules, how often I'm going to see him in the future. So people who weren't able to make it tonight,
you will have to deal with a podcast of an open mic and a feature combined, because this is gonna be like a 2+ week podcast thing. Awesome time. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear a huge round of applause for Patrick Hurley. Woo!
Sorry, shoes.
So, for those of you who are wondering, I don't have any new information about Ruffled Feathers at Reno. I hope to have the information Friday when the owner's been away for 2 weeks and he will be there on Friday. So will I, and hopefully we'll find out that yes, indeed, we have an all-ages open mic in Logan Square, but we'll see. So I'm gonna try to do things from at least one or more from all of my books. Happy to have my editor here, Elizabeth. So anyway, I'm going to start it out with something from my first book, 100 Haiku for Lucille, with other selected poems inspired by a moment in time. Nice long titles. It weaves through my soul. It weaves through my soul that dream I dream. I dreamt ages ago in solitude. I dream now, I dreamt. Do we say goodbye? Do we, with necessary tears, cry our hearts to sleep, never to awaken from a blank death of dreamless nights? Or do we, with gold and starlight, cover our eyes with coins to cross the river Styx, to emerge again in solitude in the blue-green forest on the other side, with our hands clasped, full of golden chains linked to each hand in glorious reunion? With the world on the other side, we look back over the river to see those on the other side of the double rainbow, floating above, drawing us together. Do we dream our dreams on each side of the river? Must we shut our eyes, cover them with coins, to traverse to the other side only, to find we only dreamed we were dreamers?
I have to ask you, who is Lucille? I have to.
You are a force. Is your beauty, is your soul causing my attraction to you? Is it a force of nature? Are you like gravity, dropping me to my knees whenever I think of you? Or are you like magnetism? How my needs only magnified as I draw closer to you, giving me impetus to increase my velocity to join you, to bond with you. That's the only way I can explain this, you know. I know your momentum. I know this special relativity causes this action, reaction. You must have a power no one else has harnessed to do this to me. The electric force between us excites me and burns me and still curls me in an arc to you. But this friction, this tension I feel when we're apart, snaps me with an elastic force, reminds me that I must abide by the laws of motion when it comes to you. Because, as I said, like our dynamic equilibrium, you must be a force of nature. That's Janet Kuypers from Unzip the Body Bag, soon to the Water of Life Press publication. So from my second book, 100 haiku for one evening with someone loved and other poems. I said, nice long titles. I see you now, smiling. It is dark, but I see you now, smiling, as you did before, when we were happy, when times were happier. It is this smile that moves me forward in the dark, a reflection or recollection of joy that prompts emotions we shared and learned about together, exposing the fear that dwells in the corners, finding the insight to overcome and move to the center. Fear of spontaneous combustion. One more time-stranded Interstate 18-wheeled overture after packing it all in again. My dead car blocks the toll booth, surrounded by a disjointed symphony of horns somewhere in autumn when the fields burn in a flash, frantic for a telephone or another fast exit. I have no patience. I have no patience, and there's a car blazing in a ditch. The driver is running around on fire. Shiny animal guts laid out on the dotted line, the last son of fury. I was nearly smeared across the I-90 back there by a frothing 18-wheeled vibrato, and when I finally get home, I'm barely there 15 minutes before I start forcing the future, and I begin to consider the pedal and its relation to the gears, the beat of my pulse, and its relation to the exhaust of my wake, my hand in the wheel, and the cloud ahead growing into the gray animal guts of perfection, gunning forward to meet us and spill its fluids all over this concept. That's from Son of Fury, another book I published by Paul Farrell. Ushtabaha. The water of life. From The Pain of Love and Loneliness. You walked, and I ran. And I ran, and I ran, and you were there, but I was not. But I was not, but I was not. Though distasteful and even disdainful, the events took place, the events took place, the events took, the events took, the events, the events, the events. There was nothing left to give, so nothing was left. And we gave more until there was nothing again. And we saw it for what it was, nothing. And I walked away and you ran. I held out a hand you drew within, the fingers afraid to touch, closed. And I walked away and you ran. What was it I was feeling then? That thought of emotion captured for a brief moment, then set free to the air, lost. From my recollection of thoughts I'd had on spring mornings when the sun rises anew to warm the petals of eager April flowers, excited by the prospects of warm rain and days longer than nights when winter is put to bed for a moment and the true color of skin is seen beneath the pale shadow of steel-gray clouds grown anemic from light, then set free, then set free, then set free to question the value of freedom. While I sat, you stood with eyes joined, though love removed, set aside for blindness. Here it is now, opened before us. The smile that was thrown away has found its way back home. And what am I to do with it? Picture perfect pain, heartbreak, glass splinter, and tear-filled eye of pain. Experience is the excuse. To only make us more experienced is the excuse. To make us numb, to make us desensitized, to give us a 10,000 cc injection of Novocaine to the heart, to the head, to the last remnant of hope that remains. Picture perfect pain drops in words from your lips, The breath of syllables forms piercing thorns into the soul, darkening the little light that shines within, darkening the sunny, late summer-covered bridge picnic afternoon by the river with the bees and the water running low because of the lack of rain, darkening, no more, extinguishing the candle brightly burned on private, slow-cooked eaten while wearing only our favorite underwear reserved for such an occasion, evening dinners. Picture-perfect pain framed in 8.5 by 11-inch sheets of standard white copy paper, with words printed in Courier True type and bold paragraph headings that say no union exists, that really say no hope exists, that go further to say the blank, empty stares on expressionless faces you see every day in passing on the sidewalk and sitting on the train and riding on the bus and passing on the highway, byway, stop sign, traffic light intersection of life are now valid and justified by law and the collective will of the people, by the people, and for the people, that go even further still to say that this picture-perfect pain is found in the non-existence of compassion for one another. That is to say, in the non-existence of love. My heart at the bocce bar. And I'm not going to run up and jump on the bar this time. Between you and me, there is a glass on the bar. The den of conversations we never had, but listened to in longing. There are libations beyond our capacity to imagine, and every elixir we would dare to consume in an attempt to forget who we are and imagine a dream we had. Between you and me are years kept to ourselves, and brief moments shared with our favorite toasts. There's the love we long to share and the hatred we wish to escape, but share anyway in joking mannerisms. Between you and me, here, now, is the stale stench of the collected lives and longing which penetrates the back of our minds and returns with us to our hiding places. And here, now, dividing our skin are the shields we carry, the badges we adorn, displaying our successes, our failures, our tired, tired lives, reaching out cheers to our desire. Between you and me, there is nothing but the wall of fear we build to protect the little jewel within. There is nothing but the gleam of perspiration on a hungry forehead ready for food, afraid to eat. There is nothing but the evening we share with the intention to forget, and we never do. Between you and me, there is a glass on the bar. And I chose this glass to forget that I was what you chose to forget. So set them up again, drink them down again, because it's the time between now and last call that remains between you and me. So that was my third book. This is my fourth book, Tiny Book of Prayers. I'll just read one here. We came here for water. We were served wine. We came here for bread. We were served a banquet of plenty. We came here with anger. We were shown love. We came here with guilt. We were given forgiveness. Yet, in spite of all we were given, in spite of all we received, we still take our gifts for granted. Still, we ask for more. Still, we can't find it in our hearts to love. So moving on to the fifth book with Janet's favorite title, Pull Tabs and Other Things to Stick Your Fingers Through. First, there is waking up. Realization of the new day, beauty or tragedy, not knowing. The sun is not shining yet. There is a bird on the ledge. First, there is coffee and more coffee with a chocolate chip scone. There's fog on the road this morning. More construction, always more construction. First, there is hearing sounds, indistinguishable sounds. Then a brightness. then the outline of a face, or shoulder, or hip. It's raining on the road today. Windshield wipers are so inadequate. All is good if everyone keeps in their lane. Just keep in your lane until the rain subsides. First, there is a smile with sleepy eyes above hair shielding cheeks from sun. Then the sensation of touch, fingertips soft on warm skin. Then there is holding, tight enough to remain through the day. Then there are cries of realization, weaning anxiety. Letting go is part of love. First, there is coffee with a blueberry scone and stoplights, stop signs, brake lights, heavy traffic, rushing, always rushing. The rain has stopped. There's a mist on the highway this morning. Toll booths, correct change, and exit ramps. First, there's the scent of hair, followed by the scent of skin. There are legs entwined, palm flat on the small of the back. There is pulling closer and pulling closer still, readjusting bodies while readjusting lives. First, there is waking up. Lake for Lisa Hemingway.
Yay.
Lake, your icy fingers crash on my spirit, pulling me in deeper than I know how to go. I kiss your soft belly as I am forever washed away in you. I leave my impression in your soft sand, and you hold it there, playfully tickling the edges, then erasing all in one fell swoop, one mad rush in. I give you flat stone offerings. They skip across your skin, joyful as a child returning home, and you take them in, gizzard stones in your belly. Lake, you hold my dreams in your long curls, rolling the shared visions within you. You are broader than I can see and deeper than I want to go. Still, you pull me to your depths, holding me there until I am cold in you. You explode before me, exposing your jagged edges, thrusting your icy fingers through me, turning me around in you and spewing me on your shores, then laying me down beneath your soft waters, smoothing my soul. Lake, beat me with your waters, whip me with your tides, supple and slow, chasing the moon's pull, wanting to be an ocean, reflecting every image before you, hot pink soft fire early morning sunrise, or shimmering diamonds on black velvet abyss of 2 a.m. darkness. I come into you, and you accept me without question, lifting me on your waves of joy. We ride each other through the storms. Lake, you do not tell of your secret shipwrecks. So many crime on your shores have caused you to rise. You hold my tears in your body. You are full from so much weeping. You do not easily give up your dead. I am here for you now, Lake. Take me to your belly. Grind me with your stones. Never let me go. It has come to this, a change of seasons. It has wondering where the next. It has come to footfalls in unknown directions. This time when one must decide to decide. It has come to this day-to-day creeping petty pace of tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Come to this, getting off the boat, going all the way, ready to face all the tigers in the jungle, to face the night's bitter cold, the day's vanquishing sun, ready to walk face exposed to the rain, accept moisture as a gift. It has come to this place where this voice within receives attention. It speaks now to come to where you've been going, where you're going. It has come to this, a change of seasons. So my most recent publication of myself, my most recent self-publication, Screws Fall Out, which is a wonderful little chapbook of how things can fall apart. The perfect poem. What is the perfect poem? What does it take to give one the feeling, the emotion? Is it formed of love, love lost or gained, beating hearts or bleeding hearts? What forms the perfect poem? Anger of political disposition, ranting and raving against the system, against the world and the state of your social status, spreading the hate you bemoan. How does one craft a perfect poem? Through clever witticisms, tongue-dripping imagery, humorous jibs and jeers, setting oneself up on a plateau while pushing others deep in the valley below, or begging for the sympathetic savior to your self-deprivation. Does the perfect poem make us cry, make us laugh? Does it bring us to a place of empathy, a collective spiritual rendezvous in the ether of our hidden universe, and hold us there until we are all one? No. The perfect poem is born out of each of us. When we conceive the idea, the thought, the emotion, and wrap words around that birth, then spew it out on paper or through voice in any language. Yes, the perfect poem lives within each of us. It is perfect in the nature of its being alone. And we are blessed by the experience of one sharing their perfection with us. Let us bow our heads, close our eyes, and embrace all who share their perfect poem. Your lips. For you, I wash my hands. I wash my face. Rinse my mouth. Remove the stench of my catharsis. Your lips are the reward. Our embrace shelters the cold of my bones. It is worth it because you don't request it. This one's kind of right in the theme of Screws Fall Out. What were we? What were we then in the spring of our love? Bright flowers open to the sun's glory, folding our petals tight together in the night's chill, an embrace opening to each morning. Were we but leaves, fresh and new, growing through our summer, stretching out our points to grab what light, what life, what energy we could hold in ourselves, feeding the roots we had set deep within fertile soil, giving rise to seeds that would grow into their own trees, sprout their own leaves. Our fine greenery, our beautiful blooms, set out only to flame in final color, then wilt and shrivel, torn from our trunk, cast adrift in autumn winds. Our dormant winters, holding the cold of our past droughts in tight wings, waiting for a spring rain that did not come. Our growth, stunted by life's misdirection. Lumberjack lawyers come now with sharpened axes ready to hack what remains. We fall to the saw, milled to plank, set in the kiln, our moisture removed. We are hardened, ready to be something new. For Nadia, your eyes looking up into mine, I tickle your tummy and kiss your feet. Smiles deeper than any ocean pull joy out of my dark shadows, sparking a light within the void that holds the ankles of my soul down. And you, face aglow with the mystery of life and the energy of discovery, giggling at the raw simplicity of peekaboo. Soon, this world will dull the shine, rob the light, hold that ember tight, warm your spirit against the cold to come. we celebrate and welcome you. So since someone earlier had their astronomy plans, I guess this has a little bit, these two maybe, more about terra firma. Together, spinning. They walk into the fog, blind to what lies ahead. Misery or beauty, the same. Slogging through the mud of existence. What fate, what return, what light shines in their heart? Is it hope that pulls the shades open, or concern for who will feed the cat? We are here, together, spinning in our orbits. Inhale, exhale. This is life, feeling gravity's pull, dreaming of flight. Here it comes. Welcome to tomorrow. It happens. Ready or not, the future becomes us. Despite our resistance, this spinning blob of dirt and rock, perpetual in appearance, flings us around, and we make up reality to dull the dizzy nausea. Every now and then, reaching our fingers down, deep into the soil, stable, solid. Make it stop. So the 9th book will be called The Best and Worst of Both Worlds, and the next poems will be in there. Freshly fired. He holds his cigarette, delicate as a rose petal between thumb and middle finger. Index gently touches the end. Ring finger feels the heat of the ember. It's the smoke that draws his attention. Ghost swirls from his lips, floating free to the universe. His hand limp, relaxed, his hold relaxed. The cost is known. Another day off the end, another round in the chamber, spinning the cylinder, another day less. It's cathartic, passes the time. And what is life without enjoyment? This slow decay, as the mind and the body begins to fold, as the weight of experience begins to push down. He begins to melt into the floor, spreading out within the universe, like Billy Pilgrim, become unstuck from time. Moments certainly felt like it. Moments certainly felt like it. And there was a certain aroma, the scent of a freshly fired round in the chamber. Within the pages, it's kind of early in the book, so I unfold before you, yet you refuse to turn the pages. My mystery lies within. It is nothing, nothing but a life, another cell, like all others, like no other, resting in mud, waiting so patiently for discovery, and you are so patient. That's you. So one that will be in the 7th book called Spills. So the 7th book is kind of American haiku and short poems. The rain spills on my face, and I am clean. Am I clean? Running down my neck, cold on my collar, it runs down and down. 7th book will all be short. An easy gesture. It's small, so small. A smile, a hello, a wave, a connection between you and them. Do they smile in return? Does it matter? Do they walk away with a sense of comfort? So easy a gesture could mean so much. For Amelie, her eyes so big and bright, open to the world, gaze up to receive comfort. Her hands so small, little fingers and toes held gently in big hands, kissed so softly. Giggles are the reward. Smelly, dirty diapers are nothing but a privilege. To clean soft skin, an opportunity to sing ABCs, 1, 2, 3s in calm, low tones. She came into this world in my hands, hearing my voice, feeling my touch, crying at night. I gave the comfort of a father's loving arms. They are here now, my darling, open to your aging, never turning away. I will carry you again through tomorrow. So another little one that will be in the book 7. Sublime. It's a haiku. Passing within us, a state of sublime nature, reappearing now. Bulbs and bees. You are the bulb of spring, the crocus in sleep, and I, the bee in the tree, longing for your nectar. Do you rest now in fear of the sun, the warmth of its radiance, or push forward, breaking the crust, then fall silent to the morning, and open, brilliant with invitation? It is there, within the carpels and the stamens, I long to bury my head. Ennui. Let me restart that with better timing. Ennui. When is it time for tears? As hope shatters like fragile glass on a maple floor, happiness held in brief moments of compassionate embrace. Are tears permitted then? If they are, for joy, or must the levee be built higher, holding back the inevitable flood? Some minor release, maybe, gentle and slow, as a delicate February snow covering the filth, with the illusion of white, clean newness. But this too melts, revealing the honest ground, worn by time, begging for rebirth, then finding it in the spring crocus. Origami. A gentle kiss placed so delicately on your breast. Time lags, then races as your hand parts hair. Fresh air filling lungs as diaphragm distends stomach. We breathe each other in and in again. Origami art folding limbs into beauty.
I have a question for all the open micers here, because you've been reading and I love hearing you. I love hearing you. It's been like no, I'm serious, about 35 minutes. Does everybody want to hear, I got a lot of Patrick Hurley, or are we going to have more open micers, or how are you guys with everything?
We can do either.
You know, that's not quite the answer. She laughs. Anybody
He's a
have any
true
thoughts?
politician.
Isn't he, though?
Running for alderman in 2 years, 4 years.
Well, it's you right. I just wanted to check with everybody, because we've got like 25 minutes left for the night, so thanks. Sorry, go on.
So one that you like, Janet.
Yay!
And actually, I think this is in one, I think you published this in one of your things.
What is the title of
Sanctuary.
Yay, I did. Sorry.
They called me God, made offerings and worshipped me. I laughed in their faces, said they were naive. They said, "Surely you must be a god to laugh at us in such a way." They called me sage, Buddha returned, and followed me to hear me speak. But all I said was gibberish. "This is prophetic," they cried. "The true meaning of life rests in your words." They called me pious and righteous, bowed before me on rugs, saying, "Truly Allah guides me," while I drank and smoked, entertaining their youth, wiping my feet on their rugs as if welcome mats. "He comes to bless my sajada," they proclaimed, while whipping themselves. They called me omnipotent. I simply answered their questions with whatever came to my head. Truth or relevance played no part in my response, but that I responded was good enough to be a genius in their eyes, so hungry for food. As I awoke, my head in a pool of blood, they proclaimed, "He has risen from the dead. Surely you are divine." I said, "No." "Passed out drunk?" "Yes." "He has taken a spirit quest. We must follow," they said. "Do as you like. Just remember the ground is hard," I said. The day came when they went away, saying, "He is a false god, tricking us into subservience. He laughed in our faces, spoke in gibberish, smoked and drank and bedded our women, filled our heads with lies." Then off they went to follow another. At last, true sanctuary, I said.
I'm spotting in. Not only was it published in issue of CC&D, but it also appears in a collection book that ran this year. I'm like, I'm finding it and I'm reading along with you.
Morning Serenade, which blank page after, so last one. It was interesting. I went to the David Bowie thing
Yeah.
exhibit, and they had all of his, or not all, but they had a lot of his original writings in like little pieces of paper and stuff. And the whole thing I was looking for was, how much scratching out does he do? And rewriting, and how close is it to what? And so I had to like feel kind of proud, because many times whatever gets put down on the page is what ends up being it. So, Morning Serenade. She rose on Sunday, that feeling of alone. In the distance, trains and planes rattling the windows, calm. It's Sunday, she thought. Still one day to go. Peeking out into the morning light, she watches the dull gray clouds take form over the expanse of concrete, steel, mortar, and brick. It's going to be a cold one, another cold one. And the chill runs up her spine as the radiator hisses and pings its challenge to the frost on the window. She does not want to be here. This cold, lonely place, surrounded by millions, yet so alone. Through wall or floor or ceiling, during moments of silence, she hears the soft sound of a muted horn. So warm and welcoming are the notes that tickle her ears. Maybe, she thinks, just maybe, it will be a good day. Who is this she? Long for the day. She wept. She wept in the morning. She wept in the evening. She wept. Tears, silent, rolling down at unexpected moments. She wept on Tuesdays, just after dinner, at the sight of impending dishes to wash. She wept on Saturday, when the quarters found their way into the basement washer as detergent made a little mess on the floor that filled her nose with spring fresh flowers. She wept on Monday morning. She would rise out of bed, smile on her face, ready to turn it around. As the sheets came to her chin on Monday night, so too the reality that nothing turned far enough around. So she wept, then slept, longing for the day that would not arrive. When the sun rose bright and blinding or dim behind a quilt of clouds, she wept. So,
Just
Janet, how much time's left?
I was gonna say, just make sure that I have the newbies coming in, give it another 5 minutes, 2, maybe 3, 2, give it the lucky 2, how about that?
The lucky 2.
I don't know, versus the lucky 3, I don't know. Like a couple, it's all happy.
Safe. If it were coming, would you know it? Walking in the woods, leaves crunch under footfalls. The smell. Crisp air fills lungs. Her hair, the scent of autumn. She is in your arms, so small. Tears abate, your shoulder now damp. Simple, the events of life. Difficult, the events of life. You are her everything. She is in your arms now, safe. Her hair smells of freedom. This is freedom, you think, as she holds you close. Tears abate. Your shoulder dirty with snot. Leaves, the scent of leaves in her hair. I love you. I love you too, Daddy. So one more, and I'll just try to. Yeah, I don't know. Shall I do the?
Scatter splatter. No, that's
Yeah.
old. No, like
All right.
scatter splatter. No, that's
You know what?
That's what I get for publishing your stuff, that I remember names.
No, I'm gonna do this one that's kind of crazy, and I don't read that often, because, well, I don't read that often because it's a little long, but kind of crazy. So it'll all come together in the end. Might I dance here a while, feeling the air pushing the persistence, motion, not forced, rather let loose to expel potential as kinetic. Might you join me in breathing? Not there, no. It could only happen when there is, what was it? There. Just a moment, then. Push to the point where, can it be that there was a time once? Do you? Please, place your thoughts over there in the wicker basket by the hearth where old newspaper, kindling, and thoughts of fire are kept. There'll be no dreaming. No, not now, not here. There will be, yes, over there in the wicker basket. That's right, place it there for burning. It's that smell, burnt wood, ash on hands, sulfur, matches, and kerosene. But then, with shallow eyes looking into distant locations, with eyes darker than the void, with a sense for what you've seen and what could be between now and that time when, and I still see, what thought was it we had when shadows crept upon these fire winds, blowing back the palms, blowing back, sand to glass. We evolve to our own decay. Those fire winds blowing back. Was it here that we, was it, yes, Place those thoughts over there in the box. The fire winds are blowing, and the cat before me wants to play. Before this could happen, we had to be somewhere. Then all things could come together just at the right moment. Save the chance, save the random eyelash leading to the blink, to the missed signal, the 20 casualty crash on your happy day, on your side of the road, your sunny spot delay. Save all your chaos in the closet, there, locked in an old military footlocker. Tomorrow, your dreams will, blessed vision of peace, a vision only, yet blessed all the same. How hollow and ready to receive in its emptiness. It's still early, still early. Not there, not here, not these eyes had visions of a world once, much larger than the world today, this hazy world, this tomorrow, this, place it over there, not here anymore. We've moved past that. We've grown up. Remember? Grown up, like those we laughed at, or those we wished to be. Thank you. So I do have copies of books, if you've got...
Apparently like mine, which I haven't even seen.
If you have disposable income, you can dispose it in my direction.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I don't think that was loud enough.
Thank you very much for coming out on such a cold
Give it
night.
one more time for Patrick Hurley. That's what you get for having your mellow crowd on the freaking coldest time. You know, I think it didn't even snow at all in December. And then somebody yells out my name. I hope, what? And then suddenly it's like stupid evil weather like you wouldn't believe it. But what I want to do is talk about upcoming features before I call up anybody for repeats. And of course, Joffrey, because you came late, you are so first up for this, my darling. But I want to talk about features, upcoming features first. Because in 2 weeks, I'm not going to be here. Because some people might not know that, but Bob Rasco's going to be here. And as a guest host filling in with him will be Dave Getchik. And they're going to be hosting as Jeff Helgeson is doing the show. Maybe he's doing something for an upcoming play. Maybe not. I'm not sure what's going on. He wasn't quite sure yet. I'm like, you will figure it out. I'll be out of town. So if you want to know anything about it, well, email Bob Raschko about it, or just show up in 2 weeks on January 21st. And I've got to look at my schedule here because there's a lot of cool stuff going on after that. As soon as I get back, the first thing I'm going to see after this is a double feature night, including the open micer that's coming up next, Joffrey Stewart, as well as Dan Weinberg. They're both going to be featuring here in 4 weeks. I have to not yell so loud. I should just give you stats. Jackie Wolk on February 18th, March 4th. Oh, the March month is always for Janine Ravensloot and Tom Roby. March 4th has Janine Ravensloot as a feature. Tom Roby's on March 18th. We've got, guess what? If it's going to be April Fool's Day, of course Sid Yudish is going to be here. But then again, also, Dallas Malice is going to be coming in and featuring as well, which will be really groovy cool. And Susan Moss is coming here in April, and I can just keep going on. Like Paul Ryan on April 29th, which is my first one of this year, which might be a 9 to 11 evening instead of a 7 to 9 evening. But all of you people, you want to know about the dates, you can always find it out online at www.chaoticarts.org. That's us, /the cafe. And you can find anything out about the 2015 schedule. And now I'm going to call up a guy who wasn't here earlier, so please give it up for a guy who's featuring here in 4 weeks. Please give it up for Joffrey Stewart.
I'll read 3. The title first is a question. What kind of cadences are counted for peace on earth? Despite the fact that significantly owing to the Pentagon infusion of greenhouse gases, Santa Claus, his whole settlement drowned in the Arctic as some classified time ago, his imposters still arrived about a week after Hanukkah, 2 days before Israel and its satellites nuked the depths of the Indian Ocean. Happy Kwanzaa. 10 years ago, in this century year for that first great war for Israel, which leaves many a Gazan without the roof they had during Ramadan, as hellfire missiles bring the Christmas spirit or the Christian spirit to Syria, and more holiday spirit to the Iraq that Obama just seems unable to get out of. Only Guantanamo having a tighter hold on the kind of liberty that holds innocent men indefinitely under rules of law that democracy seeks to spread globally. It's a good time for raging grannies. The first Noel, the angels did say, Christians remind us that peace, Christmas reminds us that peace is the way. In stores and malls where the customers shop, the buying of war toys must certainly stop. Noel, Noel, do not buy war toys. Buy toys of peace for girls and for boys. On Christmas Day, let's vow to end war. Close all the bases, let's fight no more. Buy toys of peace, show our children what's right. Teach them to compromise, not start a fight. Noel, 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 Noel. War toys are harmful, so please do not sell. And a good time for poets who can put an axe through tax, cutting down those tributes to Caesar that violate memory of an anarch, son of anarchy, alien to authority, and who never put pay into empire and a mockery.
Very nice.
Title, Miniskirts at 19 Above. 2015 starts Thursday in the Pacific, 100 years after conscripts entrenched in patriotism go over the top, pacifically to fraternize in a pause subversive to that first great war for Israel. Title, Scanning the Peace Crime Bubble. While Ezra Pound, who tried to pound it into the consciousness of his fellow linemen and Harriet Monroe that it was Eurocrats who caused wars and gave us Eurocrat before the idea almost resurrected with Bankster, and while Pound pounded his ideas in Italy, while Allied armies pounded the fascists who allowed him free speech, Thomas Stearns, whilst working for pounds under banksters that pounded, cut back on being a lineman, putting more effort into pounding pound in the imperial Anglo-patriotic way that employed Rosie the Riveter, a moot symbol for feminism, participating in 90 million dead for that second great war for Israel. And now that Israel is here to be defended, gets behind Hillary does feminism, and who campaigned primarily on obliterating Iran, with Obama not objecting. While Rose wage slave to rivet Hitler, Hitler put Jewesses to work, and some ships went down in the night. I was being convoyed to Southampton to labor unconscientiously in segregated units trained where Confederate commanders named the place. While Bayard Rustin, Wally Nelson, George Hauser, and other draft resistors were in and out of prison getting started the civil rights movement. Whilst Uncle Sham wages multiple wars in multiple countries on multiple continents, poets in the peace-crime bubble keep multiple silences about multiple wars on multiple continents, keeping themselves well entertained with glam celebrities, imperialist sports, and high-definition horrors as Jason paces toward a 13th installment of Friday the 13th. The flat screens blocking the view of Palestinians and Syrians that hot wars leave out in the cold, while Cold War resuscitates fascist NATO Klansmen types in David Duke's Ukraine, Obama their sponsor, Jerusalem sponsor. Oh, where are the poets that Plato reviled?
I didn't need to applaud adequately. You're awesome. Like, we're all in this, and then I see people leaving, and I'm like, I can't even applaud right now, and that's terrible. And because we don't have much time left, I want to be able to give that. So he's walking up here, which is triple plus clue. Good, give it a. Come on, just start walking, my darling. Give it up for Dan. Danielle Weinberg. Dan, come here. Something short and sweet.
I got my coat on already.
Yeah, there it is. Go on.
Because it's cold outside. I am the white-bearded poet, tired, sick, dying with a few more words to say, a few images to donate about this wonderful world, to call this madness a sane mess, home, vale of tears, half-filled glass, God's greatest country on God's green earth. Thank you.
Short and slash sweet. Well, he's not short. He's as tall as me, so he's not short.
But he is sweet. So please give it up for a little more poetry from, not Mr. Pendergast, like a lot of people say, but
Jerry Pendergast. Yeah, Jerry, no, everybody. Yeah, no, everybody does it too, right?
Some people add an R early in the name. All right, this is from Need to Know Basis. Rededicated Addiction.
Redacted. That's a
I'm sorry. Redacted edition.
Redacted edition. Yeah, redacted copy.
Proving points. Statements, counter-statements exchanged. Quotes from internal rule books. He sends out emails for events. She's reading on the living room couch. He finishes a short story in their bedroom. Hears her yawn while reading an essay. He tries to sleep. Her slow sigh from the living room couch, holds his eyes open. She walks in, changes into her nightgown. He tries not to look, turns over. Thank you.
Oh, man. Oh, business card.
Grab your card. It's by your shoe.
Yeah, well, I got it. Like, I need anything. I get a business card, hold it. Oh, I see her walking up here. Please give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Elizabeth Harper! Woo! What is that initial class? I got a collar or what? Why do I do that?
What is it that you do?
Like, give it up for Jerry Pendergast. Woo! I do like the screaming fan. I do
You're
every.
like a groupie. That's
I am
cool.
such a groupie for you people.
Oh, that's so sweet. It is kind of like a Kermit the Frog move too, with the arms.
It was, oh my god.
That's cool. Alright. I was going to do longer ones, but I get the sense that we're running out of time, so I won't do the longer ones. I'll do this one. It's a lot of work to love someone who hurts you. It's a lot of work to love someone who hurts you. To take the punishment they're meting out, to take it in the sense of taking it into you, accepting it as part of them that you're taking into you, to love that part of them that they have to take out on you. To become a vessel for all that anger and frustration as you take it into you through the cuts and welts and bruises and pinpricks and transform it into something beautiful to make it part of you. And there are those who are deserving of that kind of love that is so much work, and then there are those who are not deserving. They don't deserve the love and labor of those of us who are able to give it in the form of the endurance of pain. There are those who deserve our hatred. Those who preach that hate is always bad and their mindless preaching platitudes are wrong. Hate is good. Hate is beautiful like love, when directed towards an appropriate person or object or institution or war on humanity or violence to the good. Thanks.
Oh. I love it. Everybody's coming up and like, read one and run. And I hope, it's like we've got very little time, like, so I'm hoping Vito would go. Carli would come up for it. Give it up for Vito! And then she be, I should do that.
I want to be a prolific, industrious workshop poet. I want to spend 80 hours writing 300 haiku with a linking theme that only people in the workshop will see. I want to proudly announce that I went to the Iowa State University writing program in every other sentence. I want to spend 30 hours writing a formal poem, only to have my peers suggest to take out all the good parts. I want to cut out all of my classical allusions and put in more South Park references to please my hipper-than-thou workshop leader. I want to spend 10 times more money entering workshop writing contests than I would ever make with the winnings. For the workshops, I will try my hand at ballads, concrete poems, villanelles, epithalams, and sestinas. All of them will only be about poetry. Yeah, I want to join a really exclusive workshop group that lets only one person in every 12 years. Then I can snub poets outside of the group. At the workshop poetry parties, there will be free wine offered at Trader Joe's, and the finest goat cheese. And I'll meet prominent poet laureates from different regions. The parties will only be open to other workshop poets. Perhaps I will hit it off with a female poet at the workshop. We will name our first child Sylvia Sexton Dickey Cynic Zukowski Carli. My poetry workshop philosophy will be no things but ideas. If I go to a non-workshop open mic, I will snicker when I hear the street poets because they are so naive and unrefined. But I will tolerate the performance poets because they are entertaining buffoons. If I am decapitated in a terrible car crash on the way to a reading, if I have a heart attack while writing a sonnet, some of the money will of course go to the poetry workshop. I want the Poetry Foundation of Chicago. Just between you and me, I only wrote this poem because I was angry because I was too late to get into the 2013 Chicago Poetry Festival workshop. Thanks.
Thank you. So I totally have to ask. I like to think I'm a performing entertainer poet. Does that make me an entertaining buffoon? No. I know it's not. I heard you. And I see him giving it up, so please give it up for Bob Lawrence. Yeah! Woo! Wish I even barely was like, wow, like a screaming fan of that. I'm doing it perfect, because you're awesome.
Do a short one.
Jerry, you want some more water?
To a morning fog, dream incarnate, cloud on earth, form without heft, thick yet thin, can't penetrate glass, can penetrate mind, mother of metaphor, father of fear, creature of water, creature of dust, more like me than I would allow. May the heat and light of our middle-aged star make you evanescent as last night's nightmare.
And he walks away. And I'm like, I'm all caught in traffic. I heart you, I do. Thank you very much. This has been an awesome evening, you guys. Thank you so very much. I heard you for that. Now, as few of us are still around, I want to give you guys a round of applause. Whether or not you give yourselves one, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. We'll give the high tea applause because you guys are awesome. I was going to end by reading a couple poems from a Need to Know basis, not the redacted edition, but the extended edition, because I happen to have these copies with me. And because I am traveling, and I'm not going to be here in 2 weeks, so you don't get to hear me ramble in 2 weeks, I had to start taking malaria medication because I have to be afraid if any mosquitoes bite me that happen to have the wrong kind of virus in me when I'm on the other side of the planet. Malarone, I believe, is what I've had to start taking today. And I've heard a couple of people say to me, oh, this gives me the worst nightmares ever. I get crazy dreams that I'm talking to dead people or that I've envisioned people dying or crazy. And I'm like, wow, maybe I'm going to get some cool dreams and I'll have stuff to write. I have no idea. But this piece in here is about a poem. And that's why I thought I'd read it first of the two. This one is called Out of Place. I was leaving one of my fallback hangouts in Chicago in the middle of a dreary, cloudy day, not unlike today. I apparently was there alone, but I ran into someone that I was once friends with. We broke off our friendship years ago, but we attempted to talk, to be cordial, almost in an attempt to rekindle a friendship, though being together seemed disjointed and out of place. As we were leaving to go to our separate cars, to go to our separate ways, and drive in our separate lives, I asked what she was doing later, and she said that she couldn't. She had plans. I never invited her anywhere. I never asked her where her children were. She just cut me off and told me that she couldn't. She then looked at me and looked at the rows of the Chicago houses on the block where we walked. I always liked the spaces there, these square homes there with these flat roofs. The neighborhood was always my favorite place to live. She looked, mentioned someone living there in a Chicago house like that once, and she finally said that she couldn't live like this. The second floor, the way it's slanted, you probably don't see it. But anything that can come sliding off of that roof there, off onto that floor. And just then, I could see a vibrant, colorful bird sliding off a slanted window awning and falling into the plant bed in front of the house, hitting a wooden stake and disappearing. And it disappeared in the folds of the greenery. I don't know if that colored bird lived, but I couldn't see any trace of it after that bird disappeared, and I never saw a trace of it moving again. You see, we were both friends. We used to be close. We laughed and gossiped back when she thought I was her best friend.
but I know how morally different we are. She could be cordial, but I know what's underneath her facade, because even when we tried, I know we'd never get that friendship back. I want to end with this piece because it sounds nicer. This is called Depth of Field. When I looked for you at the crowded train station, the masses grew dense as I craned my neck until I saw your head emerging from the sea. Suddenly, I couldn't escape you. You seemed so crystal clear in that crazed commuter crowd because everything blurred away as my focus grew sharper on you, perfectly framed in my depth of field. To this day, when I see you outside, coming toward me, I first see you at a distance, but when I see you, it seems that everything about you comes sharply into focus, and everything else in the world fades into the background. You don't know this, but when we face each other, seated for a meal, I sometimes stare at your temple, or maybe the space under your earlobe. I just look. At times like these, I want to capture every inch, every minute detail of you, store it in my memory, so that I can have that sharp image of you always in my mind. Thank you very much. And thank you all in the Moody Happy Crowd. Thank you all so very much for coming by. I can tell you, please come in 2 weeks. I won't be here to see you, but we've got some awesome people. I know Dave Getchuk is co-hosting it with Bob Rashko, and Jeff Helgus is going to be here. And come in 4 weeks, because not only do we have Dan Weinberg, but we also have Jeffrey Stewart hosting and featuring, and I'd love to see